Hey Dwellers, to stay up to date on all the latest news, reviews, openings, and of course weekly programming, just click on the little guy here in the corner to subscribe and you'll get notifications when the newest content lands. Please enjoy the video. Hello Dwellers, and welcome to another video of First Impressions. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, today I'm doing my first impressions on Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, I know this game's been out for a little bit now, but quite frankly, I've been spending every spare moment I've got actually smashing myself on this game, which should give you a good idea of how much I've been able to enjoy it. Basically, I'm just going to do a breakdown into sections on this, but overall, I just got to say that thank you Ubisoft for finally breaking the mold that hasn't been working for a while and giving us an Assassin's Creed game that is absolutely worth our time, because I love Assassin's Creed, I really do, but I think that's the only thing that's carried me through the last few incarnations of the game. The last Assassin's Creed game I played that I actually really enjoyed, I think, was Rogue. See, Unity, I just didn't get on with. The gameplay was horrible, and just because Ubisoft were forced to release the game way too early and they never patched it in properly. And see, I actually quite enjoyed Syndicate, but again, it was really short and a lot of broken gameplay in it as well. So for this, when it was coming out for Origins, I was very 50-50. I got quite excited just before it came out, but then that was probably me as a fan hyping myself up for it. But this game really, really lived up to its expectations. I was actually quite freaked out for the first hour and a half on it, getting used to the new controls, because I honest to God thought they'd completely screwed the game up because I couldn't get used to it and it felt horrible. But I thought I'll stick with it because I wanted to get into the storyline a little bit, and it was just great. It really is. It's such a smooth game. I mean, if we start off with the new protagonist, Bayek, see, brand new character, had no idea what was going to come from it. Obviously, he's not even an assassin. When you start the game, he's a Medjay, which people that don't know what a Medjay is, which if you've been playing it, you should know by now. They were assigned to be the protectors of the pharaohs, and later on in their tenures as the pharaohs started to die out, they became known as protectors of the Egyptian way of life, which was either a mixture of protecting the people of Egypt or actually handing out punishment sometimes when people went against the gods. Bayek is supposed to be the last of the Medjay. His character as a whole is really well crafted. I mean, they've shown so many different sides to this character. I mean, even with Ezio having a stretch of games for, they didn't show this many layers to Ezio. You get to see him as a father, how he is with his friends. You get to see how he is with the people around him, with his duties, whether he's playing around or whether he's being deadly serious. You got to see the emotional sides of him. You got to see how happy he got with certain things, and you also get to see how sweet he is when he's around things like kids and that. And then the other part of him they put in was when he's with his wife, who comes in and out of the game, Aya. I think they did that perfect. It was a really, really believable relationship, and in a lot of games, I think it's very hard for them to do that, because obviously we know they're not real characters and they're not actual people portraying it, so you can't pick up that emotion. But in this, they really got that portrayal of their marriage just really dot on. You could tell they were supposed to be a proper loving couple that needed each other to get by in life, especially what the story's based on. I won't say with that bit because obviously I'm trying to do this video as spoiler free as possible. So anything I do drop that might let you in, I apologise, but I'm trying to not put anything in that's breaking for the actual storyline. If we go on to the environment, the map of Egypt they've made is got two main words to go with it. A, massive. It's an absolutely huge map. It's ridiculous. I've covered half of it and I've been riding around like a lunatic. I thought I'd discovered most of the map, and then I zoomed out and realised I'd hardly covered any of it, which is A, disappointing, but B, at the same time, it's awesome. So I'm really pleased with the map, and for another part, it's such a beautiful created environment they've put this time. Assassin's Creed has done some really nice environments in the past, but this one is so mixed. You've got so many towns, villages, and then just open desert, open marshland. You've got the rivers running through. It's just a beautiful, beautiful environment. I mean, they know it themselves, so much so that they've even put a photo system in the game. You just whack both the control buttons in and you can take a photo anywhere, and it uploads it straight away, and other players, if you're online, can look at your photos as well. It's a beautiful piece of art. They really, really outdone themselves. But then again, I'm not surprised, because these are the same guys that made Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which was the last game that had a stunning landscape as well, and another huge map. But they've really just stepped up the bar 2 or 3 notches, and it's asking a big thumbs up on that one, because again, I think they've done a lot of things that most games, even GTA and that, struggle to put this much sort of context into their maps. And I mean, GTA gives you such a variety, but these guys have really, it's like 5 maps in one, and they've twined them all together absolutely fantastically. As for the gameplay, I was blown away once I got used to it, how smooth the gameplay is. People that have played other Assassin's Creed games will know there's a bit of a habit of running in, hitting a wall, stopping, and then climbing up the wall. Whereas in this, it all flows so nicely. That also plays into the new combat system, which is very much like Prince of Persia, but if you ever play Prince of Persia, you know it's an open combat where you lock onto your opponent, you can jump around and roll and that. But it's very, very fluent. And we'll get onto the weapons, but there's such a good variety of weapons that you have to swap what sort of weapons and shield combo and that you have, depending on what enemy you're facing. And they've made it really in-depth. You have to think a lot what you're doing in this game. And the other Assassin's Creed games, you know, as much as I love them, they fell into a trick in the end of, once you learn how to counterattack, you could kill anybody. And in this as well, the combat is based off your levels, as we're going to cover, as well as a skill tree and a level up system, but your enemies have it too, so you can't just charge in at anybody and start fighting them. If they're much higher level than you, they're going to kick your ass. It's as simple as that. I'm one of the highest levels. I ran in, an enemy shot me straight in the face with a bow and arrow, and I died there and then. And after effing and blinding up the screen for a little bit, I had to appreciate the fact they really made that element in there that you have to think and you have to try and be crafty and sneak and plan and be tactical. Otherwise, you just get your ass handed to you, and you can't charge in and face 20 people at once and just stroll out without a cut. You will get cut down. And if you survive it, you will barely survive it. So, and free roaming combat, way better than what they've had for a long time in a lot of games I've played, actually, not just Assassin's Creed. And that plays into as well the NPCs, or non-playable characters. Again, fantastic AI in the games. Also, you still have the moments where you still have a bit of stupidness. The enemy, they're looking at you, duck down in the grass, and suddenly they don't know where you are. But NPCs, not just the enemies, but just the people living in the towns and that as well. It's such an open environment again, and everything's its own living environment. They said the environment would be living in itself, and that the animals would do their own thing, etc. And they were right. They didn't BS. They didn't exaggerate at all on it. It really is its own environment that you have to try and find your bit to fit into. And you'll see, if you watch the NPCs, they go around doing their own thing all day, regardless of whether you're involved or not, which is just a great little touch, really. It makes the game really come alive. Obviously, part of that you can note is Senu in the game, which is the eagle, and basically he's your eyes in the sky, and he can pinpoint things for you, and he's got a few other tricks up his sleeve as well later on in the game. But they've replaced Eagle Vision with Senu, and obviously that's going to be a link between Eagle Vision and Eagle giving you your vision. But it's a great little addition. It helps you plan the game completely different. It's actually quite similar to if people play Tom Clancy's Wildlands as a drone you have in that game. It works very similar to that. I was very skeptical about that idea, but now I've got into the game, use it. It's a fantastic touch. It's just amazing that they've done so many good things with this game. And well, that leads me on then to the weapons. There's a massive array of weapons in this game compared to the other ones. And I mean huge. Not just the categories you've got. You haven't just got your swords. You've got sickle swords, straight swords, classic swords, rare swords, hook swords, quick swords, dual swords. It's just boom boom boom. One type of weapon after you find different enemies suit fighting with different weapons and you're like, and then you got shields. It's not just a shield, you got a short shield, you got your round shield, you got your length shield, which is better for defending against things like arrows and projectiles as well as actual close combat. But these smaller shields like the round shields and that actually have better advantages. You can move easier with them, do better sword deflections with them, etc. And obviously your weapons as well, you've got spears that you can use, you've got shorthand bludgeoning like maces and blunts, etc. And you've got status ailments as well that come with them, so you can have a weapon or a shield that under certain circumstances will deliver poison, or a lot of swords would leave cutting so the enemy can actually bleed out after you fought them a bit, which is nice to have that realism in there. And you can level up your weapons at blacksmith as you level up Bayek as well, so you don't have to get a weapon and then find a better weapon and go, ooh, well, I like that weapon, but there's no point in keeping it because I've got this weapon that's better now. You can level up the weapon that you want and keep hold of it and keep making it better and better, which is new as well. So you can truly create your own assassin. On top of that, they added in the skill tree, very similar to, say, well, kind of works like a Skyrim skill tree, but at the same time it's very specific. You can learn certain skills and you have to unlock skill points to get those skills, like in a lot of RPGs. It works fantastic. I really was unsure about it when the game came out, but it really is a fantastic touch. It allows you to really shape how you want your assassin to be. Like, I've got my assassin equipped with a lot of combat skills and a lot of tools, so I try and sneak around and use my hidden blade, but if I get into a fight I can scrap and skirmish quite well because I've set my assassin up for that. Whereas you want other people can aim more towards having tools and stealth abilities and being able to manipulate the environment around them a little bit better with the Seer skill. All in all, first impressions, as you can probably tell, I was blown away by how good a job they've done on Origins. I'm really happy with it. I can't get enough of playing it, and I'm actually really proud of that Ubisoft took that chance and created something new and still kept that Assassin's Creed feel to it, but made it fresh. It felt like I was playing the original Assassin's Creed again, where everything was new and the storyline really was immersive and pulled you in, and all the characters are just, well, Assassin's Creed 1, the characters were good but basic. In this, the characters are so rich in characteristics, it really makes you you want to know what the next part of their storyline is. And it's really great when you come across a game that can actually do that, because even some of the most classic games that have ever come out fail to hit that mark, whereas I think Origins has hit that mark, and I hope a lot of people buy this game because of it. But I also understand that Assassin's Creed's reputation was damaged from Unity onwards. So my recommendation is, if you haven't got it already, go get this game. You don't have to be an Assassin's Creed fan. This game will do it for you. There's going to be something in there you'll enjoy. I'm pretty positive on that. It would have to hit a very small margin of what you actually like in games for you not to find something this you'd enjoy. So for what I'd give it for the most all so far, this game is I'd say it's a 9 out of 10. The only thing that stops it hitting a 10 out of 10 is the Ubisoft classic trait of they've pushed the game out quickly. There are a few glitches in there, but it's nothing like Unity or Syndicate, where I haven't come across any game-breaking glitches. I haven't seen reports about any game-breaking glitches. In fact, the glitches I've come across so far are just more the frame rate slows down for 3 or 4 seconds, maybe the game pauses for a second, or say you get a small amount of lag where a character would teleport an inch across the screen maybe, but nothing you can really complain about. At the end of the day, they're probably going to patch it in the next couple of months anyway, So apart from that little bit, absolutely everything about the game is fantastic. So much to do in it. I'd say just get hold of it and play it. There's more in here than I can probably talk about if I spoke about it for about an hour. Obviously, it's just my first impressions on it as well. So I might do a follow-up video of this when I've completed it, let you know what I completely think as a whole. Like I said, that's my first impressions on Assassin's Creed Origins. Well worth the wait that I've been cheering for the past year since they announced it. And basically, like I said, well worth getting, well worth the money. Well, I'm Shadow Soul Dweller. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all.